I like him. He's a good quarterback, but I would like to see a little change up. If you have Tim Tebow there, let's at least see what he can do.
You're paying the guy first round money. Let's see what he can do.
Right.
Now, you're from Long Island?
Yes.
What part of Long Island?
I was born in Rockville Center.
Yeah.
And lived in Oceanside, and in the North Shore. I lived in Huntington and Centerport, and spent a little time in Massapequa Park. So, running from the law, I was just a step ahead of the law.
One step ahead of the jailer.
One step, yeah. And then I escaped here to Connecticut.
Have you been home in the last couple of months?
No, I haven't. I have some family and friends down there, and. In fact, Friday night, whatever merchandise we sell is 100% of it's going to the Red Cross for the relief effort. I can't even fathom. I lived very close to Long Beach, which was what I'm hearing. It was devastated. They said it literally looks like a tsunami took it out. So that breaks my heart. I've done concerts on the beach in Long Beach many times. They do town concerts and set the stage up right there on the beach, and it's some of the most fun I've ever had playing music. And it's just strange to think of a lot of that not being there right now.
I hear that from a lot of people, that they liked playing outdoors on the beach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a different atmosphere.
Oh, my goodness. The audience, the stage would be set up with the band's back to the ocean. And so we're looking at the boardwalk and all the people, and the people get to look at the band and the ocean right behind. I mean, it was really one of the nicer outdoor venues that I've played, and Lord knows I've played many of them.
Now, you brought up the fact that you're going to be selling merchandise at the concert Friday night. What will you be selling?
Well, we have this is our 6th CD that's out, so we have 5 other titles available.
And this CD is called Worth Imagining.
That's the new one, and we have all the other ones. And so 100% of those CD sales, and whatever T-shirts we have left over, we have some T-shirts, and 100% of those sales go right over to the Red Cross to at least do our little part, whatever it may be.
That's amazing, because a lot of people, they need that money to survive. A lot of times, like your band. I mean, this is your gas money. This is your meal money. And yet you guys are willing to donate that. So that's an amazing.
Well, thanks. And it cut close to the bone, hearing when we lost lights. We live in Colebrook, and we lost electricity for 3 days, and we're listening to the radio, and I had no idea what was going on in New York, because the radio for the most part was reporting what was going on in our area, and everybody's calling up and screaming about that poor power company. I'm not even going to...
They blasted.
Oh, man. So we were listening to that and hearing all the devastation on the Connecticut shore, and they mentioned some flooding in New York and stuff like that. Well, Wednesday night or Thursday, whenever it was, when our lights came on and I started seeing the footage from
images
my
on
roots.
TV.
Oh, my God. 40 feet of water in the subway system, and I mean, I can't even fathom such.
No, it doesn't comprehend.
No,
I mean, is it our ego?
Yeah, I think it is. There's an invincibility. We think we're invincible. I know that some people in Long Beach that ignored it was the boy who cried wolf. They had been warned so many times about, this could be a bad storm. This could be a bad storm. And then, so they stayed and had to be rescued by the National Guards, because it was the boy who cried wolf. This storm's not going to be it's never as bad as they say,
These were.
So they was, and not to bring up the whole global warming thing, and I don't know enough about it in either way, but all I know is that what's going on out there wasn't going on when I was a kid, weather-wise.
Not even close.
So something's changing, and that's a little scary.
Not even close. I mean, when you were told of a storm, the Connecticut shore is going to be hit by a hurricane, you're like, oh, that stinks.
Yeah.
Now you're like, what are those poor people going to do?
Right.
And that's just Connecticut. Staten Island was blasted. It's like a bomb went off over there.
Yeah. Breezy Point and parts of Jersey had theirs handed to them as well.
Oh, yeah.
So it was anything anybody could do to just, if you send $5, they're $5 ahead of where they were before you sent it. So.
And you'll be selling all your merchandise, 100% of the proceeds go to the Red Cross.
Right.
For the relief of Sandy.
Yeah.
Now, you have your guitar, your harmonica. We just played a song. What's the name of that song?
That was the River Song. That's off the Move On CD. And that's about 2 or 3 records back, I think. something like that.
You start to lose track.
Yeah, you do. You really do, actually. I did a radio show last week, and he was asking me what tracks do you want me to play off the new CD? And I said, well, could you just give me a copy of it so I can look at it?
Yeah, I need to take a look at it.
Yeah, so you do start to lose track a little bit. It's not age, mind you.
No. There's just
too many songs,
so much involved. Now, you were warming up a little bit before, just to get your fingers loose. How long do you usually warm up before a show?
What you saw out there is what I do. I run a bunch of scales, probably about 10, 15 minutes on the guitar, and then just sing a little bit, and then
warm up your voice a little bit.
Yeah, and then morning this is definitely a stretch, and
that's why I didn't want you in at 7.
Yeah, that would have been nice, right?
You'd be like, oh yeah, okay.
You think the voice is low now? You should hear it at 7.
But it was a great song. And do you want to play something off the CD?
Well, sure.
Do you want to?
Whatever you want to do. You could hit the first one there, "Bad Days." "Bad Days" was written. I live across from Sandy Brook, up in Colebrook, and that song was written shortly after a period of time in my life where I had lost a friend, and my best friend, which is my dog, but then a real human friend, and then my mom passed away.
Wow.
And then to cap it off, at the end of that summer, we had this flood where our neighbor's house was literally, the fire department said, 1 hour away from going right down the stream, right down Sandy Brook. It was, so if you go to my video, if you go to YouTube and YouTube Kenn Morr Band, Bad Days, you'll see there's some footage there on the video as to what was going on, and it was all happening at the same time. So I just sat down one day and kind of wrote this song, and little did I know that when the video would be completed, that this thing would hit down in New York and Jersey and stuff like that. And that was kind of the inspiration for it. It was like the last straw for me after living through.
You felt like you had to write this song.
Yeah, enough was enough, and might as well at least make a song out of what was going on.
And look it up on YouTube. It's Kenn Morr with 2 N's and 2 R's. And here is the song.
Bad Days.
Bad Days. That was Bad Times.
Bad Days.
Bad Days. So we're talking about good times here while the song was playing. You've been married for 22 years.
22 years.
You have 2 children, 2 boys.
Yeah.
And an interesting turnabout. You were the stay-at-home parent during the day.
I don't have an apron that says Dad on it, but it's pretty close. Yeah, I love it.
When did you have time to practice?
Well, you just do. You make the time, especially when they were really young. Writing was the challenge, and I don't, I have 6 CDs, out, not including earlier stuff I did that were on cassette and stuff. But 5 of those 6 CDs have been released since 2000. So, and that was in the eye of the storm.
Yeah.
In terms of parenting. So while it wasn't easy, I think there was so much going on as being a dad, looking at the world through the eyes of children and through the eyes of a father has really led to me writing a lot. So it was just a matter of finding the time to do it.
Yeah, because these ideas are swirling in your head, and you're like, okay, I want to get this down, but I'm changing a diaper right now.
You got it. Yeah, that's why I have a micro recorder.
You kept it with you?
And I also do this thing. I go into schools and do enrichment programs where I'll visit the school and sing some of my songs and tell them, how I go about writing the songs and try to encourage the students to be writers, not necessarily songwriters. But one of the secrets that I give them, and it's not really a brilliant secret, it's just have a micro recorder with you at all times. So if something comes to you and you aren't in the position to write it and bring it through to its end, at least what I like to call them are germs. The germ of the idea, put it down, and you have it on your tape recorder, and you go back to it a little bit later, and you can create it anytime then. Because
sometimes just a couple of key words will get the ideas flowing in your head again, or put you in that thought process again.
Absolutely. And the same with music. Music's the same thing. My sons know that if I'm standing there or doing something with them, then all of a sudden they see me disappear into my studio. They know not to come in, they know not to knock, and it's just me doing something as simple as running in and just humming, a few notes into my little micro recorder that I could then go back to later and say, if I listen to it, I'll say, well, that sounds interesting, and maybe I'll develop that. Now,
have you noticed that your writing has changed a lot since you were trying to write with your small children, as to where they're a little bit older now, and you can get more into lengthy writing processes?
No, I really don't. It's still it's not a planned thing. It never has been a planned thing. I always try to, if anything, the only planning part of it is that I try to put myself in the position to do it. In other words, try to carve out the time. And if I have what I also refer to as a visitation from a new song, then I'm a lucky man that moment, and it still amazes me when I write songs, to be honest with you. So it's not like it's happening more or less or anything. It's just it's definitely been more since 2000, but not as they've gotten older. I haven't noticed a difference one way or the other.
Really? Because I was wondering if the subject materials of your songs had changed a lot. Like, more of it was being hectic and being a parent and father and things you've noticed, as to where you're older and you're able to get out more.
Yeah,
I was wondering about that.
No, because there was a lot that came before kids,
Sure.
So I went through those phases as well, and no, it hasn't changed. Their aging with them and them aging with me hasn't changed the process yet, And as I just finished this CD, so we'll see what the next one is. We'll see where the next one goes when those visitations begin.
I've always thought that when people write, my wife has been after me to write for years, and I just don't have the time. I literally have like 2 hours sometimes in the afternoon where I'm doing laundry, taking care of the dogs, and then I'll go to work and then come home and go to bed, because it's a lot. But the people go, where do you get your ideas? And I say, the words are already out there. It's just you putting them in the right place. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but...
Well, yeah. Yeah, my brother used to say on multiple choice tests in high school, he would say, I'd be freaked out the night before because I knew that a test was coming up that I didn't know the answers to, And he would say, no, relax, man, relax. The answers are right there on the paper. You just have to find them.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. And a lot of times I'll ask, when I'm taking a test when I was in school, I would read the whole test first, especially multiple choice. And sometimes the answer would be question 7 to answer the question 2. And now you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, there's some overlapping things here.
Yeah, so you pay attention a little bit, and you end up, doing all right, I guess.
Well, worst comes to worst, you just look over your shoulder at the person behind you and just grab those answers too.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, that's it.
You keep throwing your pencil on the floor.
Yeah, that's a nice way to get thrown out of school, huh?
It wasn't. Yeah, I'm here to help. We have Kenn Morr in studio, and he's playing Friday night. And I feel malaria coming on. I think I'm going to head down to this concert.
Yeah, it's going to, and Barry, I'm not trying to make you feel bad about not being able to make it, but it really is. We got to sound check there yesterday because we're the first show this weekend.
Nice sound.
So we just, we went in yesterday and did probably an 18-song sound check / rehearsal.
So you just let it rip.
It's such a great room. It's one of the nicest rooms. I've played a lot of rooms, and it's one of the nicest rooms I've ever played in terms of sound and vibe and everything else.
Yeah.
And I just know I already know that Friday night's going to be a special show.
And it's Bridge Street in Collinsville?
7 p.m. And a lot of people, we do a lot of outdoor shows, and people have said, well, can I bring my son or my daughter? And, and I say, absolutely, it's an early show. If they like music and they're going to sit there and hang out and, and really tune in, that if you're going to bring them to a nightclub, this would be the time to do it with the early set,
especially
holiday weekend and stuff.
And you play music that your children can listen to.
Yes, the lyrics are not explicit. There'll be no red warning labels on me. Maybe my raps in between songs go off the rails sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit, but
no, it's definitely it's for all ages, as they say.
Good, and you've played with some interesting people in the past.
Oh yeah, a lot of interesting people.
Now, have you had anybody? A major recording, just grab one of your songs? Have you heard that?
I have. Well, I don't know if it was a major recording artist, but Aztec Two-Step, I don't know if you know Aztec Two-Step. Yeah. Rex Fowler from Aztec Two-Step recorded my song Following the Moon, which was off of my Today CD, which was the late 90s. Mm-hmm. And that was a pretty cool experience, having somebody else do somebody who I kind of grew up listening to
yeah,
record one of my songs, and so that was